After taking the Leadership Skills Questionnaire, my scores were high in all areas. My highest score of 27 was in interpersonal skills. I don't really find this to be surprising. I would say I'm a very social person and I really enjoy working with others and talking with coworkers and patients. Next, I scored in the middle on my conceptual skills. I tend to be able to envision things and focus on the big picture even if I'm not there yet. I am able to quickly problem solve and address a problem as soon as it is presented. I also am a fairly easygoing person, so being flexible and going with the flow is part of my personality. My lowest score was in administrative skills. I really don't have any experience in administration. I do act as the charge nurse at my job, but that's the only experience I really have in any type of management. I try to be very detailed and organized, but I'm also very ADD, so I often miss details and misplace things. According to Grohar, Murray, and Langen, organization involves managing people and plans in order to meet the goal of an organization. In my job, I am organized and am able to perform my job to meet the goals of my unit and hospital. I'm a planner and excel at this both at home and at my job. The skills I would use as a manager to secure needed resources, such as staff based on the questionnaire in Chapter 7 of our textbook, are planning, staffing, and teamwork. Planning and organization seem to go hand in hand. If you're able to plan appropriately, I think it helps to keep you organized and vice versa. This is incredibly important when managing any type of group, team, or staff. It is imperative that everyone is on the same page and working towards the same goal. Effective planning and organization helps to achieve this. Appropriate staffing is huge in our profession. According to Grohar, Murray, and Langen, appropriate staffing is important for both staff and patients and is directly related to patient outcomes. As a manager, this would be something that I would really focus on. I would also focus on teamwork. In this profession, teamwork is crucial. As a manager, I would lead by example and implement a team nursing approach. With this method of nursing, the patient would be under the care of a specific nurse and one specific LPN or nursing assistant. According to Grohar, Murray, and Langen, this approach uses different levels of nursing care to give the patient the best care possible. We did this on a unit where I used to work, and it worked really well for the patients and the staff. It helped the staff to form stronger relationships with one another. When in a leadership role, it is important to take everyone's position and opinion into consideration. Staffing resources would be needed to help improve their interpersonal skills as well as their teamwork skills. At my hospital, the Clinical Development Department offers classes and workshops to help develop these skills. Patients have a lot of support at my hospital as well. There are foundations that help with hospital expenses, medication costs, and patient needs. Our social workers are great resources to help meet patients' needs in regards to paying medical expenses or getting medications at the price that they can afford. As a manager, I would utilize all of these resources. As a manager, I would also strive to keep an open line of communication. I would want to really know my staff and strive to make them comfortable discussing their concerns and/or thoughts with me. This is important to keep staff satisfied and to better your unit. The article I found, titled How Interpersonal Leadership Related to Employee Engagement by Hansen, Byron, and Kirk, discusses how this type of leadership affects the staff. This article discusses the benefits of interpersonal leadership and proves that staff engagement is positively influenced by this type of leadership. The study interviewed 451 participants, and data was gathered to conclude that interpersonal leadership created relationships with the staff, which led to decreased job tension and increased engagement. Based on this information, I would try to lead with an interpersonal leadership style. Since I scored highest in this area on the Leadership Skills Questionnaire, this would hopefully come easily to me. I would engage in conversations with my staff and attempt to form relationships with them on more than a work level. Currently, I work in a hospital that has a vertical structure. I prefer the structure because it is what I'm accustomed to, but also because I feel like it's really important to have a clear chain of command that is understood by all of the staff. Having a vertical structure allows for leadership positions and roles which function to problem solve and lead the staff. I think it's very important to have a couple people in this role with the authority to make decisions and deal with conflict. I think working in a horizontal structure would be very challenging because I feel that only a few situations would work with this structure. At my hospital, I report to a team leader, and above her is our manager, who specifically manages our unit. Above our manager is our director, who manages both our unit and one other. Above all of these is a director who manages a whole area of the hospital. This director reports to the vice president, who reports to the president of the hospital. The chain of command is very clear and direct. I found it to be a very effective structure, and I would like to continue working in a place with this vertical structure.